What's up, guys? It's your boy SP Madao, and I'm bringing you a nice OU battle today. And I know, you just look at my OU team, it's like, what are you doing, Madao? But in actuality, I know what I'm doing. I'm carrying that Emolga, that Swoobat, that Beedrill, and it's pure destruction in OU. I'm telling you, but not for real. Don't ever do this. Major weakness to rocks on my team. It's a very bad idea to have all three of these pokes in an OU match, but I was able to do it anyway, and I pulled it off with no problem. Now, luckily for me, none of his guys really have a rock type move on his team, and my Choice Scarf Magnezone can do a lot of damage to that Gyarados and Starmie and Skarm. So really, I'm looking pretty with that. On top of that, my Machamp can do some nice damage to really everything on his team and cause some confusion shenanigans. My Swoobat might be a lot to set up, and my Beedrill can of course do that Endeavor Focus Sash, like shenanigans, drama, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, why don't we get started with the match? But anyway, guys, I'm not actually going to talk about the game. I'm actually going to be talking about the new tier changes that happened as of January 3rd, really, because I want to know your opinion on it. At the same time, I'm going to tell you my opinion on it. Well, for the first one, it wasn't really done on January 2nd, my fault, not 3rd, January 2nd, but I just want everyone to know Cresselia's BL2, which I've been knowing for a long time, but just in case nobody knows that he's no longer RU, he's BL2, because I did run in a couple of Cresselias on Wi-Fi that, you know, I was like, RU battle, they brought in Cresselia, I'm like, he's BL2 now, so chill with that. Then let's talk about the actual tier changes that occurred. And I just want to point out that Beedrill's a monster. It not only takes out this Volcarona, but spoiler, it's going to bring an Espeon down to 1 HP. It went to work, just saying. But anyway, the first two actually I want to talk about are Abomasnow and Snover. Abomasnow is now UU, and Snover is now RU from NU. Now, I completely disagree with putting Hail out there outside of OU, mainly because the lower tiers are all about, like, I have fun with them because there isn't permanent weather, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, people underestimate Hail as a weather. It's actually very good weather, and there are a lot of pokes that can benefit from it, just people don't not know how to make a successful Hail team, and because of that, the Hail teams are lacking in usage. If people just take the time to make a successful one, they'll realize that they're just as good as Rain, Sun, and Sand. Now, even though none of these pokes are RU, they can be used in RU pretty effectively, and by effectively, I mean catch you by a nice surprise, and on a Hail team they can go to work. And I just want to read you all the things that kind of benefit from this just in NU. There is Glaceon. Glaceon happens to have Ice Body. Vanillux has Ice Body. Walrein has Ice Body. Castform is Castform. Well, Castform can't really be used in RU. It's kind of hard to use. Piloswine has Snow Cloak. Regice has Ice Body. Glalie has Ice Body. Dugong has Ice Body. Beartic has Snow Cloak, and Articuno has Ice Body, and I don't know if it learns Snow Cloak, but if it does, it does. Anyway, listen to all those folks, especially the Articuno one and the Glaceon. Those two are the ones that catch my eye, because those two are big threats, and you learn a lot of fire types in RU. If you can, normally this opponent's not going to be carrying 2 fire types on the team, so you knock out their fire type, and Articuno's pretty much set, because with the Ice Body, protect toxic Ice Body leftovers, it's pretty good. And on top of that, as long as you make sure he isn't put to sleep by having, I don't know, carrying a sub or something, you should be fine. Now, as far as I'm concerned though, like, there are other Pokemon that can also benefit. For instance, Blizzard would be 100% accurate. So if someone decided to bring up Choice Scarf Frost, you know, missing the Blizzard makes a difference between who wins at the end of the game. And now you're making 100% accurate, and you're not working for it. Because that's what I liked about the lower tiers. If you were going to run a weather team, you had to work for it. But now you don't really have to work for it. You know, you just send out Snover, and he's the only permanent weather inducer in the game. And with that, there's going to be slightly more of a weather war in the lower tiers, because there's going to be more usage in Sandstorm teams. I already ran into one in NU who was there to battle the Snover thing when it was NU. But whatever. This is Smogon, and on top of that, Sneasel will actually be a pretty effective revenge killer, since it has access to not only Ice Shard but Sucker Punch and Fake Out as well on frail threats that are toxic. That could really rack up. But anyway, let's talk about the next guy. The next guy's going to be Chansey. Now, Chansey got moved down to UU from OU, and Chansey's actually, you know, I'm cool with that because Chansey is good, and in all honesty, the difference between Chansey and Blissey is one has slightly more defense thanks to the fact of Viviolite, which will be Chansey. Another one can hit harder with like flamethrowers or blah blah blah, which is Blissey, which, you know, it's fine by me that he's in UU. I don't really mind too much. However, I honestly think he'd be more effective in OU considering UU has big taunters such as Crobat and Sableye, and it has big physical threats as Hypnotop, Mienshao, Scrafty, Bisharp, who can also learn taunt, Sharpedo, and, you know, I'm just naming them. They're pretty big threats. But anyway, let's talk about the next Pokemon. I honestly think Chansey will do a good job in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I support it. Let's talk about the next Pokemon in Absol. Absol is now RU. Now, Absol, you know, I'm a little iffy about this one, because I do agree with Absol's power. However, at the same time, you know, he wasn't that big of a threat in any, like, he was a big threat, but at the same time, to me, whenever I versed an Absol, it was easy to out-predict, so really, using Absol is more of a prediction game. If you're a good predictor, then you can find a lot of success with Absol. So, you know, I'm interested in how that turns out. Now, Amoonguss got moved up to RU from NU, and I completely agree with this decision. I'm going to miss Amoonguss, don't get me wrong. I love Amoonguss. However, I slightly also disagree with this decision because I wish, like, I agree that he needed to be moved up, but I do not agree putting him in RU. In all honesty, I know a lot of people have found a lot of success with Amoonguss in OU. He needs to be brought up into there because, in all honesty, he can hold his own, and people need to realize that. So, Amoonguss, I hope you go into OU sometime soon because you deserve it, and in all honesty, he does, guys. Use him in OU. Figure it out yourself. Now, let's move on to Cinccino. Cinccino is, you know, not a bad choice for RU. It's a monster, in all honesty, in NU. Is there ways to beat Cinccino in NU? Yes, but at the same time, he can be successful in RU, and I can see future success with Cinccino being in RU. So I'm actually interested in seeing how that is going to work out. And at the same time, with Cinccino going to RU, I expect to see more Primates, Choice Scarf Primates running around, because that could be an easy counter to the Cinccino. Now, also, I want to actually go back to Amoonguss for a quick second because I forgot to mention something. I'm predicting right now, sooner or later, you're going to see a decline in usage for Tangrowth and an increase in usage for Amoonguss, because Amoonguss beats Tangrowth one-on-one, barring Sleep. Exclude Sleep and Spore, and in that aspect, Spore is a better option, but exclude Sleep, Powder, and Spore because Amoonguss has the poison typing. He can outplay a Tangrowth 1v1, and on top of that, they both have Regenerator. So at the end of the day, since they both have the same ability, the abilities don't really matter. Now, let's move on to the next Pokemon after Cinccino. That would be Emboar. Now, this one I completely disagree with. Emboar got moved up to RU from NU, and I disagree with this wholeheartedly. I know this happened because of usage and not how good he is, because I do not see Emboar being that good in RU. I can see him working, but not being that good. And in all honesty, I happen to believe that Entei, Moltres, Anti-Flosion are all better choices for Fire Pokes in RU. I wholeheartedly believe that, and I think it was a very bad decision to send in Emboar onto RU. You know, I hate Emboar, he's always a thorn in my side. However, at the same time, you know, he's an NU poke. Let's be honest, guys. Alright, now we're going to talk about Roselia. And Roselia's pretty interesting because Amoonguss got moved up to RU. It's not a surprise that Roselia is going to lose usage and get sent out to NU, so this is a good prediction on Smokin's part. And I'm actually want to use Roselia in NU now because Roselia is a monster, great special defense, especially with Vivio. Like, set up T-Spikes, can get rid of T-Spikes thanks to the poison typing, and you know, he's overall a good character. I mean, good character, wow, good Pokemon. Oh, sorry, I was reading manga earlier. Overall, a good Pokemon, so, you know, I'm really interested in seeing that. On top of that, they can set up Spikes. So, once again, Roselia, a good choice. Now, for the last Pokemon that got a tier change, that would be Stoutland. He moved down from NU to RU. In all honesty, with Permanent Sand, I believe Stoutland's good enough for RU. Without Permanent Sand, I agree that he needs to be in NU because he's not that great. But, like I said, Sand Rush is a beautiful ability, especially on Stoutland with its monstrous attacks to that. So, I've already actually ran into a Sandstorm Stoutland team. I was able to successfully beat it because it wasn't permanent stand. Permanent stand I would have gotten reached. So you know, that's just how it is. Those are the tier changes, guys. I'm SPM, SP Madao, and I will see y'all later. Oh yeah, I forgot. Tell me what you think about them.